Hello there, fellow curious humans. I'm about to dive into the minds of strangers, as I reveal their deepest secrets. Can I keep them all anonymous while sharing the juiciest ones with you? Here are some of most secretive human thoughts.
By today's standards, my mom would be considered a terrible mother. She prioritized herself, was always well-dressed and put together, and we were often taken care of by our grandma, the neighbor, my mom's friend, or extended family. She had a job, hobbies, and sometimes she and my dad traveled alone, while other times they took us with them. To me, she was the best mom. I learned from her how to stand up for myself, how not to let the chains of patriarchy force me into a box, but to do what I want, how I want. I never lacked love or attention from her, and even today, we have a wonderful relationship. She still has her own life, and I admire her for it. Motherhood never consumed her entirely, and she always kept her sense of self, yet we, her children, never lacked anything.
In Lisbon, sitting on a bench in a square, I was searching for something on my phone. At one point, two girls, tourists from our region, who think they've got the world in their hands, and even before they spoke, I could tell they were from the Balkans by their arrogant, annoyed expressions, said, "Ugh, this idiot is sitting here, duck his mother. Now we can't take a picture." I responded to them in Serbian, and humiliated them. They scurried away in shame, of course, without an, "I'm sorry." Ladies, is that really how vulgar and rude you are? Ill-mannered, with questionable respect and no moral code. I felt reborn since moving abroad, but every now and then, I run into our people and get disappointed. Of course, I love my mother, sisters, and wife more than anything in the world, and would give my life for them. But my mother is an incredible manipulator. She acts like a child, meddles in my sisters and my marriages, changes her opinion like socks. And for years now, I've had the thought in my mind that I finally understand my father, and that she wasn't always right. Since they divorced when I was 7, she constantly badmouthed him, and I believed everything she said. By the way, she was the one who initiated the divorce because she entered a relationship with my former stepfather, who passed away 10 years later. Some of her claims were true, but about 2/3 were pure exaggeration. I was always on her side, believing her, and because of that, I hated my father. But now, I regret it, and see that he was almost completely innocent. My dad passed away 5 years ago from COVID, alone, and my sisters and I never even got the chance to have a deep conversation with him, though he tried, because under our mother's influence, we saw him as the devil himself. Dad, I'm sorry. And to all divorced women out there, please be mindful of what you say in front of your children. Don't slander, because you're not without fault either.
I feel terrible. My mom is sick, stage 4 cancer. I spend as much time with her as I can, helping with everything she needs. But I also have 2 children of my own. We just had a baby recently, and between taking care of them, I rush to be with her while my sister is at work, since my mom lives with her. Still, I sometimes catch myself thinking about how exhausted I am. I have a baby, but I haven't been able to fully enjoy her, to feel all the joys, from pregnancy to birth and everything that comes after. Sometimes, I just wish I could have one day where I don't have to go to my mom's house, where I can just be with my kids, take them for a walk. I know that sounds awful, but sometimes it just overwhelms me. On the other hand, every moment I spend with her means so much to me. When she's feeling well and we talk, when I do something for her and I see even the faintest hint of a smile. This is so incredibly hard, but I know it's even harder for her, and that makes me feel even more guilty for having these thoughts. How do people even cope with situations like this? How do you stay sane? A few months after giving birth, I went back to the gym, mainly because I enjoy having at least an hour for myself twice a week. My husband supports me, and both my mom and mother-in-law help out, for which I'm very grateful. One time, I left my little one with my parents, and since I was in a hurry to get to my workout, I didn't even go inside. An older neighbor and her unmarried daughter, who is a few years older than me, saw me. Of course, they asked where I was rushing off to, and when I told them I was going to the gym. Oh, my goodness, the older one tore into me, calling me irresponsible, careless, selfish, and self-absorbed. I looked at the younger neighbor, expecting some support, but she just joined in. She told me that if she were in my husband's place, I would have been a single mother a long time ago. Even though I probably should have stayed quiet, I told her that if she had kids and a husband, she'd know how nice it is to have just 1 hour of peace. I didn't get married young either, only at 35, and I don't judge anyone for not having children. But since they attacked me, I had to defend myself. I need to get this off my chest, and this feels like the only way. My brother became a gambler in his early 20s. When we found out about it and the debts he had accumulated, my father developed diabetes, and my mother lost 15 kilograms in just a month. We tried to convince him to stop, but like with any addiction, especially one as destructive as this, it wasn't easy. He lied about quitting. I caught him several times gambling on his phone, but I just kept silent. That's where the real problems started, living in lies. He kept lying about quitting, and my father turned to alcohol. Every time we had a problem, big or small, he was drunk. But it's not just about problems, whenever he's home, he's drunk. I don't know how to keep going anymore. My mother is torn between all of us, trying to hold the family together, defending my brother even though he is knowingly sinking deeper. And I'm a college student on the verge of developing diabetes myself from the sheer amount of stress I've endured from my family. This is a battle, a horrible and painful one, between two of the darkest addictions. If anyone has gone through something similar, please leave a comment. Thank you. My husband considers it completely normal to go out for dinner with friends or to a bar after work without letting me know. When I text him to check if he's still at work around 5 to 7 p.m., that's when I find out that he went somewhere after work. The same thing happened last night. I told him, "It's fine that you went out, but I'd appreciate it if you let me know when you're going somewhere." He agreed. Then, 2 hours later, when he still wasn't home, I asked if he was still with the same group. And that's when I found out he had gone to another place with different people, again, without telling me. Is this normal in the Balkans? I've been living abroad for many years, and my coworkers share their locations, calendars, etc. with their partners. They can't understand how my husband just does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, without any communication.
My parents are furious at me for moving back into their house after my breakup. For context, I'm 35 years old. I'm not a freeloader. I contribute to the household expenses and upkeep. I earn a little over 200,000 dinars a month. It's not like we're short on space, but that doesn't seem to matter. Apparently, I threw away the opportunity of a lifetime because my ex has a PhD, a great job, comes from a respected family, and owns the apartment where we lived before the breakup. But of course, no one cares about the fact that behind closed doors, she revealed her true face, her pathological greed and need to control every single aspect of my life, the constant lecturing on what I should have said, what I should have worn, how I should have done something better, all in a condescending tone, as if I were incompetent, or a 5-year-old child. She can go find some desperate guy, who doesn't know any better. I don't even think about her anymore, but it hurts when your own parents don't understand the situation, especially after you've been there for them so many times, when they were struggling, and finding a decent apartment in Belgrade, that isn't in the middle of nowhere isn't exactly easy, but try explaining that to parents who grew up in the socialist era. What do you say about these human intrusive confessions? Please comment your thoughts on them and share video. You want to send me your anonymous confession? Send them on anonymousconfessionsyt@gmail.com.